Jyotirmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Now we have come to the 5th chapter of this Ashtavakra Gita. Most of these chapters are very few slokas, 4, 5, 6 or sometimes 8. And this chapter, interesting, is very often taken up because this chapter emphasizes what exactly involved in terms of sannyasa. So this is essentially how to renounce your own ego, that is sannyasa, a dissolution of ego, ahankara. There are apparently four steps are given by 4 slokas. Each sloka takes you to a different level of renunciation. So in the Upanishad it says Tyage naike amrutatva manasahu na karmana na prajaya dhanena Tyage naike amrutatva manasahu parenam samvihitam guhayam brajati yadjatayo vishanti vedanta vijnana sunischitartha sannyasa yoga jataya suddha sattvaha. So sannyasa is glorified. Why? Because Tyage naike amrutatva manasaho. So this is one of the slokas that are chanted when one receives the Mahatma, particularly sannyasis with a Purna Kumbham. This is the one that chanted na karmana na prajaya dhanena Tyage naike amrutatva manasaho. Na karmana, not by action, na prajaya, not by popularity. Hey, he's a great Mahatma because everybody has so many followers all over, and therefore he is a great Mahatma. Mahatma's status doesn't depend upon how many people follow. So if one is going after number of followers, then he is not a Mahatma. So whether somebody follows or not, Mahatma is leveling and leveling. Only those people who can get benefit out of that Mahatma, they try to follow. So some people went to even Ravana Maharshi ashram and they would sit down quietly in silence. And the knowledge has to go in silence. But you cannot learn from silence. Say, well, he doesn't teach anything. For those who want to learn by teaching, you have to go somewhere else. But for those who are mature individuals only can start meditating on what exactly, who am I involved. It's not just inquiring, asking who am I, who am I, who am I. It is inquiry with the proper tools. Proper tools is Vedanta provides the tools. Why I am not this, but I am that. And that's what essentially Vedantic teaching is. With that, if you sit quietly, having gained that knowledge, so Srotavyaha, Mantavyaha, then comes sitting quietly, Nidijasitavyaha. Nidijasana comes only after learning what to contemplate on, not before. Before that, you will at least only purify the mind. You contemplate on the Ishvara, at least you will get the glorious attributes of the Ishvara. So the one I admire most, I get those attributes only. So it is helpful for preparation of the mind. But if I have not even a mind, if I understood, then what is there? I am already in that state. So scripture says, Tyage naike amrutatvanam anasahu. Only by renunciation you will get liberated, not otherwise. So this has been used to interpret that you have to take sannyasa. Only sannyasins can realize. Because the scripture says, by Tyage naike amrutatvanam. And to support that, there is in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Yajnavalkya himself, who is a scholar and studied, and he defeated many acharyas in the Janaka's court, and also taught Janaka, then himself wants to renounce the world and go and contemplate. Why do you have to go somewhere else to contemplate when Lord is everywhere? It's like going, a ring wants to contemplate and go to Himalayas to discover where is that gold. So you are that gold. You don't have to go somewhere. But in order to understand that, you have to give up something. What is that I have to give up? You have to give up all your wrong notions. So tyage naike amritatva manasu, you have to renounce tyage naike your wrong understanding by right understanding. You can't give up by giving up, you don't get anything. By giving up, you have to gain. By gaining, you have to give up that. Because it's a knowledge alone. So here, we're talking about renunciation stages for not for the Mahatma. Janaka already renounced, but here Ashtavakra teaching every one of us and through this scripture and says how to renounce. And these are the 4 slokas are there and 4 steps as though are prescribed for one to renounce. What is there to renounce? Your own ego, ahankara. So why should I renounce ahankara, ego? Who renounces ahankara? I. Again, say, oh, I renounce my ego. Who says that? The same fellow. So one fellow went to Kashi. Remember Kashi? You have to give up something. So everybody was to give up whatever you like most. And because your dependence on that, the withdrawal, that's what Tyagam is. So a tradition is that when you go to Kashi, you have to give up something. What is that you have to give up? So this fellow said, I have given up something. So the student went and asked, so what did you give up? I gave up anger. My God, that's really great. So he wanted to test him. Sir, what did you give up? I said, I gave up anger. So he went on bugging him, what did you give up? The fellow was getting so angry every time. I already answered you, what is it? But what did you give up? So he was so angry with the fellow asking. He said, I told you so many times I gave up anger. He said, you didn't give up, you are just now getting angry. So how do you give up anger? That's why tyage naike amritatva manasu. Buddha used to tell, say, it's not wrong in getting anger, but you should get anger, but anger should not get you. That means you should get a quota of anger that is required to solve a problem. Otherwise, people will become you will become a doormat. So when the snake was there, it was a terrible snake, and causing a lot of problems in that village. So when Mahatma was going there through the village, the villagers complained about the snake. So he said, he called the snake. Snake, why are you frightening them? Says, sir, what could I do? I need food and so on and so forth. So if you don't frighten anybody. He says, all right, I won't do it anymore. So he told everybody, give some food for that snake and it won't bother you. Every day give something for him to eat, then it won't bother you. So everybody is happy, the snake was happy, and so on. So they were giving something. Since he was getting food, he doesn't have to do anything, so he was just eating and quietly and having it in his place. Because it's not frightening, the kids started playing with it, throwing stones in it, because it was not getting angry. It was so throwing stone on it and doing this all sorts of mischief on the snake. So Mahatma was going back and suddenly stopped by, and our people are happy. But when you look at the snake, it has become so weak, and because all the children were abusing that snake. So what happened to you? I thought everybody is feeding you. Everybody is feeding, but you told me not to get angry, and all the children are throwing stones at me. I'm not getting angry because you told me. So you don't have to frighten them, but at least you can say bush at least to frighten enough for the children not to do it. So you have to get angry in order to solve a problem, but anger should not get you. That's what Gurudev was saying. I think I told already, once I took Gurudev to the Gurudev means Swami Chinmayanji, I took to Harrisburg. They wanted him to come and give a talk. The Harrisburg temple people invited him. So we went there in the morning, and they are having after puja, they are having a session about a separate hall, in the same hall, and Gurudev started teaching some highest philosophy for them. And suddenly all the kids were running around and screaming and running around there and all that. So Swami saw that. He stopped his Vedanta talk and started giving a left and right to the parents. Because of you, the children are misbehaving. Because you are not disciplined, and you cannot pass on the discipline to the children, and therefore they are doing. You cannot blame the children for that, but it's you who is a problem. And so he went on giving a very angry talk to the children, to the parents, to how to behave properly. Because you don't see this in churches and other places, because they are calm and sit quietly, because that's what the training is. But you are not able to give that training to your children. What good is having the satsang if you can't pass it on proper discipline to the children? So one fellow was referring to me, I was in the back, said, how come he's a Swami, he should not be getting angry? And he is not teaching, he is so angry, what kind of teaching is that? I told him, this audience needs that kind of teaching, not Vedanta teaching. First you need this kind of teaching, and so you have to get anger to solve a problem. But anger should not get you. And I had many experiences because people will say he gets very angry, but he is not angry. What is needed for the disciples is what he gives. At the same time, complete compassion comes out once the problem is solved. Because there is no, what Bible says, hate the sinner but not the sin. Hate the sin, not the sinner. So the individual is a Mahatma, and the Lord is there in that individual. So what is only superficial attributive content of this ignorance is what you are getting rid of. We'll take the first sloka. This renunciation is only. Nate sangosti kenapi, nate sangosti kenapi, kim suddhastya kim suddhastya suddhastya saktum ichasi, kim suddhas tyaktum ichasi, kim suddhas tyaktum ichasi, sangata vilayam kurvan, sangata vilayam kurvan, evameva layam braja, evameva layam braja. Together, nade sangosti kenapi, kim suddhasya suddhyaktum ichasi, kim suddhatyaktum ichasi, sangata vilayam kurvan, evameva layam braja. So, evameva layam braja, this last quarter is repeated in the next three slokas. And this is alone is to be layam braja. So, this alone is what a state of complete dissolution. What is that I have to dissolve? This is a state of complete dissolution. So, when I go to laya, it's called deep sleep state also. And pralaya is the sleep of the totality, laya is the sleep of individual. So when I go to deep sleep state, that's called layam. When the Brahmaji goes to deep sleep state, that's called pralayam. Pralayam is where the whole universe is folded. Layam is where my universe is folded. My universe includes even everything also, including Ishvara, everything of what my mind is aware of. All that goes away. And all that is folded essentially. Doesn't go, because if a chemistry professor, when he sleeps, he is no more chemistry professor in the deep sleep state. Neither the chemistry knowledge nor the professor there. But it's only folded, because when he gets up only as a chemistry professor, not a physics professor. So whatever the knowledge that was folded is unfolded only. This knowledge is called the subject-object knowledge. So he is a knower and the chemistry is known. That's called subject-object duality. Whereas jnanam of that aham brahmasmi is not subject-object duality type. It is the essence of the whole thing. That knowledge won't go away. That is there because it is beyond the mind itself, in the sense that a knower is using the mind, it goes even beyond. So even a jnani sleeps, when he has a laya, he is only folding the subject-object duality. That if a jnani is also a chemistry professor, the chemistry knowledge will not be there, but the jnanam aham brahmasmi, once it is there, it can never go at all. So how do you know that he has a knowledge? Well, wake him up and ask him. So for you to ask him, you have to wake up. When he wakes up, the mind also aware of the jnanatvam. Nate sangosti kenapi. Nate sangaha asti kenapi. So here instruction by Ashtavakra, the teacher, says you have no contact with anything whatsoever. So you have nothing for you to renounce. So even I say, hey, he says, Tyage naike amritattva manasi, because in some of the Advaitin list and all that, says you have to take up a sannyasa, because the Yajnavalkya took it, and Shankara says that by sannyasa you can reach the higher state. So even though Yajnavalkya was a jnani, he still had to take a sannyasa to realize. Therefore, sannyasa is the only way, only sannyasins can renounce. It's not a sannyasa of a bhautika sannyasa, it's a manasika sannyasa. That's what here is talking about. And here he says, what can I renounce? When a friend of mine came, I told him, I am renouncing the presidentship of the United States. What? What did he say? Yes, I am renouncing my presidentship of the United States. Hey fellow, you are not even president. What is that renounce? That's why I am renouncing. So renouncing is, what is that? If I have it, then I can renounce. If I don't have it, what is there to renounce? Renunciation then is to recognition that I don't have it. So if I don't have it and think that I have it, then I have renounced that thinking part, right? If I think like I am in the United States, there's a story of what they used to tell, Mr. Jones and the rat. So Mr. Jones, you might have heard this story from me before, but Mr. Jones suddenly thought that he is a rat. Don't ask me when he started. From our point, from the beginning, he has a thinking that he is only a rat. And since he is a rat, he has to protect himself. So whenever he sees a cat, cats are ready to bounce on the rats, so he wants to be careful. So he hides in a closet whenever he sees a cat coming. And only after the cat is gone, he comes out of the closet. This is going because he wants to protect himself, because he is a rat. Suddenly his wife thought, why is he hiding? Whenever the cat is going, he is hiding inside. So he asked, why are you running like that? Because I am a rat. So my God, he has a bigger problem. I married a rat. So she took him because Mr. Jones is a very nice guy other than that. So she didn't want to renounce him. So she took him to the psychologist. Sir, here my husband has a problem. He thinks he is a rat. Please solve the problem. So I said, no problem, because I see all sorts of people coming in. So there won't be. So he had a session. Say, you are not a rat. You are a human being. So how come I think if I am a rat, if I am a human being, I am thinking a rat? So that's why rat looks like this. You don't look like that. You look into the mirror. You look like a human being, but you are not looking like a rat. Therefore, you are not a rat. You are a human being. Rat doesn't talk, but you can talk. So he went on for every session reinforcing that he is not a rat, but a human being. So Mr. Jones, after many sessions and paying heavily to the psychologist, he came home, and wife was happy that he has gained the knowledge that he is a man and not a rat. Said, Mr. Jones, what are you? I am a man. Are you a rat? No, I am not a rat. I am a man. I know. Okay, that's good. He understood. And when he came home, he saw the terrible cat was sitting there. So he was seeing that cat. He ran back to this doctor, and the doctor was surprised. Why is he coming back again? Mr. Jones, why you are a human being? You say you understood. Yes, I understood, sir. I am a man and not a rat. Then what's the problem? But I have a cat. I don't know whether he knows that I am a man and not a rat. So you see, understanding of Mr. Jones. So Mr. Jones, I am Brahmasmi. After very Vedanta classes, people can say, I am Brahmasmi. You are Brahmasmi, oh, I am Brahman. So where's the problem? No problem. So you go and say, I don't know whether my neighbor knows that I am Brahmasmi or not. He thinks I am only still the same rotten neighbor that he had. But I know I am Brahman. I understood. So if there is also a neighbor there, that means you are not understood. So what is that I had to give up? Ultimately, you have to give up the notion that I had to give up. So it's not the sannyasi, that is, you have to recognize that I am not this. So you have to give up the ego. And what is the ego? Ego is I am this. That's the definition of ego. Because this belongs to object, I am a subject, and subject cannot be object. But I take all the time. You ask you, sir, who are you? I am this. My biodata says I am this, either from the physics point, from the physical point, say I am 5 feet tall, or so and so, and this many years old. All that characteristic of the body, or characteristic of the mind, or characteristics of the intellect, we define who I am. But that is BMI. The characteristics of BMI keep changing, but I am the one who says I am this. That is ego. So you can say, you know who I am? I am very great person. So in India you hear this. Then when a police fellow catches, says you are trying to give me a ticket, do you know who I am? Oh, that means he is related to some big shot, and therefore he can do whatever he wants. That's what who I am. Who I am. So I am, this is the problem, and as we said, this is a fundamental problem, fundamental human problem. So Tyage naike amritattva manasahu. So I have to give up the wrong notion that I am this, because you cannot be this. So that is the renunciation, not renouncing from going somewhere else in Himalayas as though you are not there and you are here, because if you are infinite, you are there also. So a ring doesn't have to go to Himalayas to find out that I am gold. You can sit down and you are all the time gold, whether you know it or not. So I am Brahmasmi, I am never this, I am pure Satchidananda, even when you do not know that. So what you need to is renounce number one, that you are indeed finite. And why do I renounce anything then? You have to renounce only the wrong understanding about yourself. You cannot renounce the wrong understanding unless you have the right understanding. Once you have the right understanding, there is nothing to renounce. Everything is in me. So I don't have to go to Himalayas, or someone said I had to be a parivrajaka. Not only regular sannyasi, nowadays sannyasis are establishing ashrams, and because in those days, wherever sannyasi go, they used to give food. So parivrajaka is not a problem. Parivrajaka means moving. So that the recommendation is don't stay around for too long, because you develop attachment to the place and the people and all that. So you have to keep moving from one place to place. That is what the intention of parivrajakattvam. But here, some people say only parivrajakaas can realize. So it's a wrong interpretation. What is realized is the one who can easily renounce any time. He is the one who can really, whether he is in the society or in the Himalayas. That's why Shankaracharya is very careful in that. Yogaratova, Bhogaratova, Sangaratova, Sangavihina, Yasya Brahmani Ramate Chittam, Nandati Nandati Nandatcheva. If the mind is reveling in your own nature, Yasya Brahmani, that is your own nature, and Ramate Chittam, mind is reveling in that all the time, And for him, he can be a yogi or he can be a bhogi. He can be in the company, he can be outside the company, he can be sitting in somewhere exclusively in some Himalayas somewhere all by himself, or he may be in the downtown actively participating, just like Lord Krishna was doing it. He was not sitting in Himalayas. Okay, he doesn't have to go to sit down because he is a Brahman already. He knows. So, Sangata Vilayam Kurvan. So, say having done the dissolution of all the attachments to the BMI. Once I say I am not this, that is essentially, say, who are you? Say, I don't have to say. That's why scripture first says, you are not this. Nedam, nedam. Means not this, not this, not this, because you are not this. That is essentially the renunciation. His renunciation is understanding you are not this. At the same time, as long as the body, mind, and intellect, you cannot renounce that, because you can renounce your attachment to it, but as long as that means you cannot commit yourself suicide. You have to live as long as the body, mind, intellect is there, according to the prarabdha. Accept whatever that comes as a part for the body, mind, intellect is required or has to go through, but realize that I am neither a doer nor an enjoyer. Agartaham, avuktam, ameva amavyeha. So that is the real renunciation. So as a step one, number one, let us sit down and think, I am not this. So that itself becomes as a sadhana to exercise first thing in the morning and the last thing. Give up that I am taking this body right now as I am waking up and going into the field of action. Knowing well I am not this body, but I need this body in order to transact. But I am not the vehicle for transaction. I am not the car, even though this is my car. No one has the confusion there. Even though I am an owner of the car, I say I am the car, he won't say. But even though owner of this vehicle, body, mind, intellect, required for transaction, I take myself, I am this, only because I am not able to know who that I am. Once I know, then very knowing itself is renunciation. Until then, I have to do sadhana. I am not this, I am not this, I am not this. But I am going to take this as a vehicle for my transactions. That becomes a daily sadhana, and that becomes a real enunciation. That what Ashtavakra is saying. Ate sangostikenapi kim suddhaha tyaktum ichasi. So I am already pure. What can I give up? There is nothing for me to give up at all. And in the middle of the night, when you go to sleep, and you have to essentially, by mistake, because of the habits you are taking while transacting, you took the role that I am this. Forget that you are a role, but you took actually you are, and getting angry, all that. And now, at least, oh Lord, please help me not to associate myself intensely while I am transacting in the world. That can be done only if I have a mind, Lord is there in me. Either I can say Lord is there in me, or Atma is I am, real I am. Either way, it's easier to think of the Lord, presence of the Lord. Lord is there in every human being. That's how I am dealing with the people. I had to get angry with the people and do all sorts of things in order to transact in the world. At the same time, recognize that they are nothing but Lord. Ishvara is there, very support of the essence of them. So as a first step, this is a sadhana that's being the teaching itself, and this is what we have to practice from the day one. So from tomorrow on, all those who are listening, start this in the first thing in the morning. Recognize that you are not the body, mind, intellect, and you are taking the body, mind, intellect as the Vesham, costume. So Isha Jivayoho Veshadibida Sattva Bhavato Vastu Kevalam. In the Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi says, Ishvara, Jiva, there is not much difference. Only Vesham is different. He takes the Ishvara role and you take the Jiva role. Who is that I and he? Nothing but same Atma. So Atma takes the Jiva role, Atma takes the Ishvara role. Atma takes the world role also. All that is only role playing, and problems will be there always with the roles. Roles will have a problem, but I have no problem. Try to solve the problem of the roles while taking the roles, and that's a part of the drama of the life. So one has to be careful, and how I use this as a sadhana. So in the first thing in the morning, we suggest that you renounce the whole world as you are taking up. So I am taking this Vesham, costume, that I am so and so costume, and operate in the world who is different from me, knowing very well you are that also. So I cannot be angry, unnecessarily jealousy, all those negative tendencies will not be there, because I am seeing my own presence or seeing presence of the Lord. Either way, sarva bhutastam atmanam, sarva bhutani chamatmani. In all beings I see myself and everything in me. Or yomam pasyati sarvatra, sarvancha mai pasyati, tasyaham na pranasyami, sasame na pranasyati. Now, this in the highest teaching. I am either recognize that I am the self in all, and all are in me only, or Ishvara is the essence of everything, and everything is in Ishvara. So either way, one can see in the process, you are essentially recognizing, realizing that I am, this is not really true. I am the totality, where if this includes the totality, that's called Aham Brahmasmi. And if it only takes small one, then I am not. Either you own everything or disown everything. When I own everything, I am owning the essence of it. When I disown everything, I am only disowning the superficial, because I cannot disown the essence, because that's me only. It's like I am not going to know myself. I am going to negate myself. You cannot dismiss yourself, because you have to be there to dismiss yourself. That's essentially the essential sadhana. So now we are talking about the essence of this whole Ashtavakra Gita from the sadhana point, from the jiva who wants to realize. And Ashtavakra gives the 4 steps here. The first step we consider, you are not this. And whenever we get in the emotion, because of the taking the body, mind, intellect so intensely for life after life, we are so used to taking I am this. So even when habitually we take, you stand back and look at it. Hey, I am taking the role as myself. I can play the role without taking myself. That's what has to be constant, vigilant awareness, and that is a meditation, and that is a contemplation, and that is renunciation, and that's one emphasized as Tyagenaike Amritattva Manaso. And that's what essentially the beauty of this chapter. And when I heard first time that is Sarvapriyananda, if you go to YouTube and ask Sarvapriyananda from the, I think, Ramakrishna Mission, and he talks about Ashtavakra Samhita, this is Ashtavakra Gita, and he takes up these 4 slokas and gives a beautiful essence of the Ashtavakra Gita, and also what's involved for the sadhana also. Then we stop here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.